1:30. All right, welcome everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to our PPRTA monthly meeting. I welcome everyone, and we're going to go through. We have some voting we got to do today on some different issues. So with that, I call us to order, and I see I can count, and Rick, I've established a quorum, so we can proceed. With that, our first item number 2, is approval of today's agenda. I'll ask for a motion to approve the agenda.
I move approval of the agenda, John Graham.
No, I just did a quorum.
Okay.
Different meeting.
It's kind of nice. I don't know who's in the room.
Oh, okay. I will back up. Let me do that. We'll finish that, and then we'll do a roll call so that Director Avila can know exactly who's on and that kind of thing, which I agree with. So with that, for today's agenda, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. And so all in favor of approving today's agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. With that, we'll go around the room and so that everybody will know who's here. I'll start with Director Avila, Councilmember Avila.
Thank you, Chair. Yolanda Avila, Colorado Springs, Councilwoman, District 4.
Randy Helms, Colorado Springs Council Member, District 2.
Lojinos Gonzalez, El Paso County Commissioner, District 4.
Dave Donaldson, Colorado Springs Councilman, District 1.
Mayor Pro Tem Roland Gardenia, Town of Canahan. And by the way, I found all the people here in Colorado Springs.
John Graham, Mayor, City of Manitou Springs.
Thank you. I didn't know they were lost.
I found them.
Lisa Corey, Finance Manager, PPRTA.
Rick Sonnenberg, PPRTA Program Manager.
Gail Sturdivant, Acting Public Works Director for the City of Colorado Springs.
Josh Palmer, County Engineer, El Paso County.
And and Philip doesn't have a microphone, so Philip is over there on the computer letting us know when online. And with that, exactly what Rick said. Who's online? Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Dixon, Mayor.
Yeah, Mayor Dixon is online.
Yep.
Jennifer Ivey, legal counsel, keeping my germs at home. I apologize, I'm not there in person, but you'll all be thankful when you're not sick next week.
Yes. All the pictures are covered up, so I can't see, but I can see the list of names there.
Paul Belt, are you on?
From Rama is Paul.
Paul, you're muted. I see you're trying to introduce yourself, but you're still muted.
Okay, how about now?
Yep, loud and clear.
Great.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Paul.
Thank you.
Okay, I think that's it. Yep. Okay, with that, we'll move on to item number 3, public comment period for items not on today's agenda. And I'll look over first to Paul and see if we have anybody online. And I'll ask if there's anybody online for public comments about today, any item that's not on today's agenda.
Power off.
Mr. Chair, this is Jared Verner with Mayor Dixon up in Fairplay.
Yes.
I just wanted to confirm that I don't see any hands raised online. And we didn't receive any advance requests for public comment into the email address. So unless there's anyone else in the room for the virtual component, it looks like we're clear on our end.
Okay, thank you. And we do, and I'll invite Larry up from the CAC, and he has an announcement to make, and we're doing it during public comment.
Larry Tobias, El Paso County member of the CAC. At our Wednesday meeting of the CAC, Rick and myself were informed that Richard Robinson wouldn't be able to make the meeting because he had fallen. And so he was not able to make the meeting. I called his wife this morning just to get an update again on how he was doing. And she informed me that unfortunately he had passed away last night in the hospital. So we've unfortunately lost a member of the El Paso County CAC, Richard Robinson. So I'd just like to take a moment of silence for him, and then we can proceed on, Mr. Chairman. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. And it's always a terrible thing to hear that some citizen who volunteers his or her time that happens to, and we send our condolences to his family. All right, any other? I do not see any other in the audience. Any other citizens for citizens comments? One more time, can come to the podium. With that, I will close public comment. Move on to item number 4. Approval of the minutes from our September 13th, 2023 meeting. Look for a motion to approve the minutes.
Mayor Pro Tem Roland Guardian, Alan, move so ordered, please.
Thank you.
I'll second John Graham.
So we have a motion and a second, and any discussion, any changes or anything to the minutes? If not, all in favor say aye. 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 Any opposed? I hear none. With that, item 4, the minutes are approved. Moving on to item number 5, Citizens Advisory Committee report. I invite Larry back up.
Yes, the CAC met on last Wednesday. The following items were taken. Public comments, there were none. Financial report. Lisa's gave us good information on the financial report, information only. City of Colorado Springs capital projects line item transfer, approved a positive recommendation to the board. City of Colorado Springs contracts, approved a positive recommendation for the 4 contracts as presented to the CAC and approved to the board. El Paso County contract, approved a positive recommendation for the 1 contract as presented and sent it on to the board for approval. Town of Callahan contract, approved a positive recommendation for the 1 contract is presented. They're going to be able to do some paving with the PPRTA income that they have. City of Colorado Springs Transit Service monthly update was information only, but you will also see today in the transit presentation that the transit system won a couple good awards for the transit system here. So that was really good to hear also. City of Colorado Springs monthly change order and property acquisition report, information only. El Paso County monthly change order and property acquisition report, information only. Report of recent board actions. We went over that, and that was information only. Rick, and he will also present it to you today as part of his presentation concerning the reappointment process for the CAC for committee members that their terms are expiring the end of this year. Staff report, review report, information only. Agenda topics for the next meeting. There were none, and communications, there were none. Any questions?
Thank you. Excuse me. Excuse me. Thank you, Larry. Any questions? None? Okay. I do. Commissioner Gonzalez.
No, just I was gonna move to accept.
Excellent. I like it. So we have a motion to accept. Need
I'll
a second?
John Graham.
Mayor Graham seconds it. Any further discussion for the accepting the Citizens Advisory Committee report? I hear and see none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I hear and see none. The CAC report is accepted. Moving along to item number 6, our monthly financial report. I'll turn it over to Lisa.
Lisa Corey, Finance Manager for the PPRTA. The month I'm reporting is for August. We received $13,702,788, which was above our monthly budget by $219,123, which is 1.6%. When we look at August of this year compared to August of 2022, we received $338,746 less than we did last year. So it is down 2.4%. Anyone have any questions?
So just a couple of comments. We had planned the way we had budgeted, and we built our budget a year ago was anticipation that we would see those kinds of numbers overall. And that's why we stayed at 150 million for our budget for this year. And we're above that right now. So I think that was good planning on everyone's part a year ago, and to forecast that out for the August numbers. And I anticipate that we'll continue to see the way we forecasted it for the rest of the year, at least. I think that's the way to be. So thank you, Lisa, for that piece. All right, moving on to 6B, the 2024 budget. We all received the budget for 2024, and now it's our duty to set the public hearing date. That is our task to do here today. If, like me, most of you haven't had a chance to go through the whole, but I had a chance because we got it about 11:30 this morning. Just a quick chance to skim through it and take a look at it, and I didn't see any big issues there. I had a couple questions that I asked Lisa during our agenda prep meeting. And with that, our decision today is just to set the public hearing date. And we recommend setting it for December. I think it's 13 December is our date in December that we're meeting. So I'm looking for a motion to set December the 13th, 2020. Yes, Rick, go ahead.
First of all, I want to make sure everybody on the board received a copy, either electronically or hard copy at the meeting today. Because if not, I can bring you one right now. So
how about those online? Everybody good? And like Rick said, if not, obviously he can make sure that happens. All right.
What I just requested be noted in the minutes that the draft 2024 budget was delivered to the board today.
So acknowledged.
Just the same question.
Yes.
We're just predicting the same revenue again. Is that, it looks like it. So the flat 150 plus
Correct.
the interest. I think that's wise. Thank you.
Yeah, the interest is a little more at least we predict. I think it was 6 million in their prediction for the interest.
Yeah, and do we have to wait till December to approve this, or? Okay.
We have to establish a public hearing date. Yes.
Okay.
And the opportunity for a work session at your November 8 meeting.
Thank you.
So,
Councilmember
Mr. President, I would,
yes.
I'd move that we set the public hearing for December, I believe it was 13th, December 13th, regarding the 2024 budget.
Thank you very much.
Yolanda, second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. 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 Any disapprove? I hear and see none. With that, the public hearing date of 13 December is established. Moving along to item 7, the 2023 capital maintenance and public transportation contracts. And first up is 7A, the City of Colorado Springs capital projects. line item transfer, and I'll turn it over to the acting Public Works Director.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Gail Sturter with the City of Colorado Springs. The line item transfer we're bringing for your consideration today starts off with closing out the funding from a PPRTA A-list project that is complete. That is the Airport Road over Spring Creek Bridge Replacement Project. We've paid out all the utility payments we need to do. Everything's reconciled. So we're ready to finish closing that out. And there remained $586,393. We were proposing to move that to the South Cheyenne Canyon Bridge Replacement Project, which is also a PPRTA A-list project. And again, for that same amount, $568,393. You will see when I present that contract here that I do need other funds to complete that work. So that's a good spot for us to move it. And then we'll make up the rest of the funds needed for that project in 2024.
Okay.
Any questions on that item?
Do not hear or see any.
I might have a
Oh,
comment.
up. Commissioner Williams.
Well, if we have time to comment, the PPACG today approved the way for a truck to take sewage from Seven Falls down to Las Vegas Street. So I would just coordinate with the Broadmoor on that.
Yeah, I actually attended that meeting virtually and been coordinating already.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate that.
Thanks.
Any other comments, questions? All right, Gail.
So this is an action item, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so that was it on that particular one. I thought maybe there were other items. Okay, with that, I look for a motion to accept the City of Colorado Springs capital projects line item transfer.
I move approval of Colorado Springs request for the line item transfer. John Graham.
Thank you, Mayor Graham.
Holly Williams, second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I hear and see none. That item is approved. All right, item 7B, back.
Yeah,
Yep.
thank you, Mr. Chair. So I needed that approved to kind of help with the contract items
Right.
beforehand. So the city has four contracts for your consideration today. The first one is for the South Cheyenne Canyon Bridge Replacement Project. Project I just mentioned, it is an A-list project. There is a map provided in your packet. This project will be replacing the bridge near where the intersection of Mesa Road comes up to South Cheyenne Canyon. This will be relocated. The good news is because we're replacing the bridge slightly downstream from where it's currently located, Seven Falls and we've been coordinated with Seven Falls on this activity. There should not be minimal disruptions, or there should only be minimal disruptions to the operation. We went through an IFB process. We had 2 respondents. Native Sons was selected. The total contract value is for $2,376,603. The Parks Department will be paying $117,088.12. And while they're doing that with the project, they're also going to be putting a pedestrian bridge and pulling that off of the vehicular bridge to really separate that trail use traffic from the vehicular traffic. So that leaves the remaining $2,259,514.88 to PPRTA. We currently have available just under $1.2 million. The line item transfer that we just approved would add the over $586,000. And then that would have a remaining balance of just over $475,000. I will tell you in the draft 2024 budget that you received that we currently have identified $831,000. So we would have adequate funding to complete the project with the line item transfer in the 24 budget. Questions on that item?
Any questions?
Just a general question. Gail, how much does it increase the cost to separate the pedestrian traffic onto its own bridge and trailheads and all that?
Looks like it's 117,000.
That's what that is.
Yeah, that is that number. And they are paying for everything but the abutments because we can use the same abutment structure. The second project today is the Old Ranch Road, the Union and Milan intersection improvements. There is a map located in your packet. If you've been up there and if you've been on the board when I presented this project in the past, we have a very temporary configuration right now where Union and Milan are connected.
I'm very familiar with that.
This is for the final engineering comments for the SWENT or for the stormwater enterprise and to do the design work for a new leach field located, which is in the road right away, for the interim improvements that will need to happen there that will straighten it out. Ultimately, there'll be some larger improvements at some point in time in the future to really fully configure that whole intersection. But this round of interim improvements will make it much better than even as it is today, as Director Helms is aware of how it's oriented. This is being paid for out of one of the traffic programs, the Intersection Safety Improvements Project, in the amount of $31,368 to AECOM.
This is and this is an excellent example of how we've improved any type of fire evacuation that would need to come out of both Black Forest and the northern part of Colorado Springs. This intersection did not exist, just for people to know. With Union, we finally got the intersection there, and to do any improvements at all to make it even more functional is a good thing.
Yes.
My question is, if you look to the right of that Old Ranch Road, is there any potential future to connect the two dead ends of Old Ranch Road so that it actually goes all the way out to Black Forest Road?
There is not an easy potential because there is a buffer zone written on a plat through that area that basically right now you would have to go through and do some different entitlement work. So I do not anticipate that Old Ranch Road would go through between Union and Black Forest.
Yeah, dead ends, and then you have a piece of it on the far east end that connects into Black Forest Road, but the two don't connect.
They don't connect.
And so we don't see a future of that, is what I'm hearing.
I do not see one. And again, it would take a monumental effort, I think, at this point in time, because there is basically a buffer zone right in that area.
All right, thank you.
The city's third contract is for the Cassaputa Bridge for rehabilitation. There is a map included in your packet. This is a bridge. It's either Cassaputa or Mesa Road as you are on the west side of CC going or over Colorado College, goes over Monument Creek. This was identified as a bridge that is structurally deficient. And we are moving forward with a final design for a rehabilitation project for that particular bridge. We'll be using bridge maintenance funding for that. The design effort for that would go to Wilson and Company in the amount of $362,620. And the last contract for your consideration today from the city is for transit bus stop maintenance. Mountain Metro Transit went through an RFP process. They had 2 respondents. They selected Brightview Landscape Services for the first year, and then there are 4 option years for the contract. And I do want to walk you through this. I want to let you know that there is no PPRTA capital money in this first year. Most of the project is being paid for by the Federal Transit Administration. Mountain Metro is using just over $82,000 for the local match for that grant, but that is their operating funds, and those normally do not come from the PPRTA board. But what we want to do is bring the contract before you today to get your approval up front, because in those option years, we would anticipate one of Mountain Metro's capital line items in PPRTA 3 starting in 2025 to be providing the local match for this service. The first year contract would be in the amount of $410,412. Any questions on any of those contracts?
Any questions?
Just on the contract for the bus stops, are there additional fees if stuff is busted up? Do we get additional bills, or is it all covered in this amount?
We were anticipated being covered in this amount right now, but it is reactionary and they have line items, but this is built on the unit the units and the unit price is set. And the number of units were established based on what Mountain Metro had been observing. So we feel like it's a fairly good number.
So kind of historical maintenance was this, and we built this budget to
Yes.
reflect historical maintenance. Do you know, I would imagine maintenance costs are increasing based on what I see.
Yes, all of
Yeah.
our costs are increasing,
Yeah.
right?
But I mean, just because of damage to bus stop.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you know, or would you just be guessing if you said?
I would be guessing in any
Okay.
further than information I provided for you at this time.
Okay.
So how much of the federal grant is involved in this?
So the Federal Transit Administration in this first year would be providing $328,329.60. So the local match portion of that would be the $82,082.40.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Any other comments? I don't hear or see any, you know.
All right, great. Thank you.
All right, that's it on for that. So with that, we need to, I look for a motion to approve the City of Colorado.
So moved, Holly Williams.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams.
Second, Dave Donaldson.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, Councilmember Donaldson. With that, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? I hear and see none. That motion has been approved. All right, moving along to Josh for El Paso County.
Good afternoon, Josh Palmer, County Engineer. The county has one contract to bring before you for approval today. This is a contract for the Deer Creek Base Camp Microscope Way, formerly known as Immigrant Trail project up in the Monument area. It's a contract to AECOM for $329,596. So this is adding on to the original contract amount of $481,441 that was originally awarded in 2021, late 2021. We are adding to the scope. Since the contract and the design was started about a year and a half ago, we realized that there's going to be some high density development the southeast corner of Deer Creek and Woodmore Drive, which in itself will trigger some improvements to the intersection. So in conjunction with the developer, we're looking to design and construct what will most likely be a roundabout. We haven't determined yet, but that looks like the direction we're going for the intersection improvements there. So this contract will add to the design scope for that intersection and also retain the consultant for design support during construction. Willing to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Josh. I am not seeing any. All right, with that, I would ask for a motion to approve the El Paso County.
So moved.
Thank you.
I'll second John Graham.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve and a second. Any discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I hear and see none. With that, that motion has been accepted and approved. Moving along to 7D, the town of Calhoun. And with that, our Mayor Pro Tem Gardine, sir.
Yes, I'd like to introduce the lady that is the backbone of our little community. And she's going to give us a presentation today.
Thank you very much and welcome.
Thank you. Cindy Tompkins with the town of Calhoun. So this is actually Calhoun's first project that we've brought to you since we joined. So I'm going to say thank you in advance.
Yes.
Yes, I'm going to take a moment. Miss Holly Williams helped when we were putting this to a vote. She came out to our community, she talked, and then she actually helped put the word out. I just want to say another thank you because I think it really helped.
And that was done with personal money, not any government funds.
So ma'am, if I could ask, so you're saying that Holly went out there and spoke and it still passed? Is that what you're saying?
I think that's what
Yeah.
And since Sharon Thompson is not here, I'll say I can't afford to do that profoundly. They have to pay for their own.
But our project is an overlay project. We have two streets, portions of them, Cristola, which comes from the Highway 24 to our medical clinic there in town. It's a long block, basically. And then portions of Colorado Avenue, which has our grocery store and actually our town hall. So the contract is $138,250. We're asking PPRTA to contribute $100,000, and then the $38,000 will come from our general funds.
I'd also add that that little short driveway she's talking about, it turns into a serious mud bog, so we really need that area taken care of.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're happy to help. Any questions?
One
Yes.
question, yes.
Yes.
I mean, can you let me know, does Raleigh live on these streets? Does he live
No,
right there?
he does not.
Okay. Just checking.
And unfortunately, I don't think this is the street that goes to the county fairgrounds.
No, that's actually going to be on El Paso's capital project for the next.
Okay,
So yeah, I've already been talking to Josh.
so just don't fix your tires until after you go to the county fair. Thank you.
All right. With that, I look for a motion. I'm sorry.
On a
Mayor Pro-
personal note and
Yes.
in response to Mr. Dave over here, my wife had to use four-wheel drive to get to the medical center, so yeah.
Definitely wanted to get there. All right. With that, I will ask for a motion to approve Callahan's.
I will move approval.
I will second John Green.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I hear Cindy, I hear and see none.
Thank
So
you very
therefore
much.
it has approved. It's always good to see our other towns and cities and townships with us.
We go out of our way to spend the money right, so.
Okay. Looks like, let's see, that completes item 7. We're moving to item 8, member governments and other reports. 8A, City of Colorado Springs Transit Service monthly report. And we have I'll just say we have some special presentations.
Yes,
today.
thank you,
Gail.
Mr. Chair. Gail Stern with the City of Colorado Springs today. I wanted to take this opportunity to recognize Mountain Metro and Lan and her team. One, because they're doing great work every day, but 2, they were actually recognized by the Colorado Association of State Transit Agencies, or CASTA, at their recent conference. They won 2 significant awards. They were the Large Community Transit Agency of the Year. That's pretty big deal for them to be able to do that. And then they also won the Marketing Campaign of the Year. So as I asked them to give me your application for these opportunities, and you go and look at everything that Mountain Metro's done this year. And I just wanted the moment to just highlight those because PPRTA is such a huge portion of their budget and really makes it possible. But they did complete a new facility, their new maintenance storage facility. They added deviated fixed routes this past year, implemented their mobile ticketing and the stored value cards, or the purple cards that Lan had me pass out a couple months ago. They had the fare-free downtown shuttle. They had their 1-year anniversary and really the big official launch this past year. They've updated their web content for accessible timetables and audio maps. They participated in the Zero Fare for Better Air campaign that went along around the state. And then they had the highest increase in ridership in July and August through that activity. They approved and added fixed route services in several different areas, added some alternative fuel buses, and they expanded their social media presence and really getting the word out for everything they've done. So I just wanted the opportunity for you to be able to see these awards and hear the accomplishments and the recognition that they received. So thank you to Lan and your team.
Thank you.
And now I'll let Lan talk to you more about the actual transit business.
Gail, I do had, so there has been a request to have a picture taken with Lan. And and I'm happy to, I think it was a request for the city council members.
Yeah, I thought city council might want a picture, and I know that Jared Verner's not here. So
All right, babe, come on.
Maybe over here where you have light. Do you want to do one?
Yeah,
Okay,
Yolanda,
yeah, you don't want me doing one, so
want to
just-
jump up here with us, Yolanda. Congratulations. Well, job well. I'll let Yolanda, you be right there, Yolanda. No, okay. There you go.
I know.
Oh, you did? Oh, excellent.
Sit next to. Well, I got the awards.
From City Hall.
The awards are right.
Cheeseburger, everybody.
Cheeseburger. Right.
That's french fries.
Where am I looking?
Burger. You're looking at my voice.
Okay.
Straight ahead.
Oh, great. I was
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. Probably better than to get on the bus instead of in the house.
All right, again, welcome, Lan, and it's all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Line Rail Transit Services Division Manager. Thank you, Gail, for announcing our awards. It has been a great summer this year. As you know, we did participate in the state's Zero Fare for Better Air campaign. This is the second year that we were able to participate for all 3 months. We did set our monthly ridership record twice, once in July, and then we broke that record in August. Those are great news. And as a result, our year-to-date ridership on the fixed route has achieved 91% ridership year-to-date information compared to the pre-pandemic back in 2019. So those are great news. We did include a little summary of the free fare, zero fare, what we observed. One thing I would like to add to this report is we are seeking full reimbursement of the lost fare revenue from the state through state CASTA agency, and we're expecting around $1.6 million back to our agency. This includes about $1.4 million of lost revenue, as well as $170,000 of additional operating expenses. So this is fully covered. As we observed, similar to what we observed last year, we don't have the full numbers for September yet, but we are not seeing the ridership staying after the zero fare. So that is something that we did observe last year, and we will report back on September numbers. We have that next month. Also included in your report is a small bus in fixed route service. Recently, in the last few months this year, we are still experiencing vehicle shortage situation. This was caused by a combination of different factors. One is the parts shortage / delay caused by the global supply chain delay. So once a vehicle is out of service for repair or due to accidents, we're seeing an increased longer time to receive that parts. So that contributed to our fleet number not meeting our demand. Another reason is we continue to see some challenges with the battery electric vehicle manufacturers' response time. So we're still working with them, but that contributed to this bus shortage issue. So as an agency, we looked at many different solutions, from potentially leasing a vehicle to placing new orders, to buy newer buses, to how can we buy vehicles quicker and negotiating with the vendor. But those are longer term solutions. Again, combined with the supply chain delay, we're looking at anywhere between 1 to 2 years of delivery time of those vehicles. As a short-term solution, we are looking at moving our vehicles around. We are moving some of the ADA paratransit, also known as Metro Mobility vehicles, to our fixed route service, as well as moving some of the van pool minivans to ADA paratransit service. As you remember, we have seen a decreased demand since COVID. The van pool side. And we do have extra vehicles in our van pool fleet. So we are moving those, and these are still in process. So you might see some cutaway vehicles running in fixed route service on fixed route routes without the full signage. We're working towards that. The silver lining of those moving parts, those short-term solution is we will be able to diversify our fleet, in turn increasing our parts availability, save some fuel, as well as using those smaller vehicles getting into neighborhood for our deviated fixed route service. So there are some silver lining there, but it is we're trying to make this transition as smoothly as possible, but you might see some bumps along the road in terms of our passengers getting used to a different type of vehicle and the education and the learning process. So that's a quick update of our vehicle situation, and I'll be happy to answer any questions if there is.
Any questions? Yes, Councilmember Avila.
Thank you, Chair. Lynn, I know it's been rough with the shortage of vehicles, and I think it's great that you've been so resilient. So to get here, I took the bus from downtown here, and I had to get help in getting to my bus. I know that prior they had a recording, the bus 3 or bus 5, and I actually haven't heard it for a while. Do you know what's going on with that?
We actually received a similar report earlier this month, and we are looking into that. One side could be technology. We don't know if there's any breakdown. That actually happened on Route 5. So now this is another one that we are aware of now. We are looking into the situation, but at the same time, we are reminding the drivers to, if the technology is not working, we have a backup plan.
I wonder if they're getting tired of hearing it, because none of the buses at the terminal were saying what number they were. So
got it. Thank you. We'll look into that.
Thank you. Yes, President Pro Tem.
Okay, is the new terminal completely done now, or what?
The
Hasn't started yet?
No,
not yet.
No, I heard you saying terminal, so I envisioned that the new one is done, but
yeah,
I was going, boy, that was quick. Okay,
yeah,
thank
that's
you.
the old one.
Any other comments, questions? I hear and see none. Again, thank you, Lan, and congratulations on the awards.
Thank you, Chair.
With that, moving along to item 8B, City of Colorado Springs monthly change order.
Mr. Chair, Gail Stone of the City of Colorado Springs. In your packet, you had both of our change order log and our real estate services log. And they're available for your information, and I'm happy to answer questions should you have some.
Any questions on the change orders for Colorado Springs? I hear and see none. Thank you, Gail. Up next, that would be 8C, El Paso County change order.
Likewise, there are no additions to our change order report. There are a few updates to that property acquisition, and I'm willing to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions to Josh for the El Paso County monthly change order and property acquisition report? I hear and see none. With that, we complete item 8. Moving along to item 9, administrative actions and reports. And first up is 9A, our contract with PPRTA consulting attorney. And Jennifer is online, and either turn it over to Jennifer or Rick first. Jennifer, you're up.
I'm up. Again, thank you all for allowing the remote attendance today. I'm not feeling very well, so apologies that I'm not there in person to present this. What we have included in the packet is a letter to the board asking to extend our contract for 1 additional year. Last year was a contract renewal year, so that contract then has 1-year renewals added onto it. This is the first of those. Included in your packet was that letter with both my billing rates for 2023, proposed rates for 2024, and then by means of comparison, what my standard rates are, since the PPRTA does receive a discounted rate. For those of you that aren't following along in your packet, my current hourly rate is $305 an hour. The proposed 2024 rate for PPRTA is $330 an hour. And my standard billing rate for other clients is $425 an hour. It has obviously been a pleasure for me and my firm to be PPRTA's legal counsel, and we would like to continue to that representation into 2024. So I'm happy to answer any questions on that item.
Okay, the floor is open for questions to Jennifer. And I don't think, Rick, do you have some comments on that?
Just wanted to mention that the staff is recommending in
Thank
favor of this 1-year extension with Ice Noggle, Seaver and Pogue law firm.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for, the staff recommendation. Any concerns or any questions? Because we are going to take a vote now unless someone wants to have more time to look through it or over it.
I was going to say, I actually appreciate the difference in rates so that we know what you charge your private clients and your public clients. And so that we know that we are getting the discount. I also noted in there that you drive down here for free, which is really nice. So I'm fine with this contract and I move approval.
Thank you.
I second it.
So I have a motion to approve and a second, and now open up for further discussion if there is any from any of our directors. I hear and see none online. So with that, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I hear and see none. So we have approved 9A, our contract with PPRTA Consulting Attorney Jennifer Ivy. Congratulations, Jennifer. You have to put up with us for another year. All right, now moving along to 9B, our contract with PPRTA Consulting Lobbyist. And I think Dan is online, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I am live from Daytona Beach, Florida. I'm down here at a wedding, so I do really appreciate the remote access as well as Jennifer. In the package, you'll also see my request for a contract extension and letter to you, Mr. Chair, and the board. Been my pleasure serving as your contract lobbyist and consultant since 2017, and thanks to the board's leadership, Rick Sonnenberg, and language from our attorney, Jennifer Ivy, we've been able to either amend ourselves out or kill, I think, a bill every year for the last 3 years that would have directly impacted our revenue streams through the reduction of sales tax in El Paso County or statewide. So it's been my pleasure to be able to help out and serve the board of the PPRTA.
Thank you, Dan. And I see Rick wants to make a couple of comments, and I do too. Go ahead, Rick.
And the staff recommendation is also in favor of extending Dan Jablan's contract for calendar 2024. And our attorney, Jennifer Ivy, has reminded me that she hasn't had the opportunity to review Dan's contract. So the staff recommendation would be a motion to approve the 1-year extension with Dan Jablan, subject to legal review by Jennifer Ivy.
And I concur with that. We discussed that in the agenda prep. I too agreed. I would ask if to approve it with the idea that our attorney would have the opportunity to look over that and concur. Yes, Councilmember Donaldson.
Yeah, Mr. President. So I would move approval of the renewal of Mr. Jablan's contract pending review by our legal counsel.
Perfect. Thank you. Looking for a second?
Second.
Yeah, I have multiple seconds. And with that, any discussion, further discussion, questions? I hear and see none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? I hear and see none. That has been accepted with the caveat of our legal team, Jennifer, concurring. With that, let's see, that's 9B. Moving to 9C, appointment, reappointment process for Citizens Advisory Committee. We talked a little earlier, Larry. Larry might have Larry come up, but Rick and I can talk to it also. Rick, why don't you mention what we talked about at the agenda prep?
Let's see, I'm just looking around the room. I think Commissioner Williams came in after Larry's announcement. Commissioner Williams, PPRTA CAC member Richard Robertson passed away last night.
Oh my goodness. I am so sorry. So, he's a good friend.
And along with him, we have so we have some first term CAC members, both at large and regular. Their first terms coming to an end at the end of December. And we need to either reappoint those that are finishing their first term. We have one individual that is term limited on his second term. So we need to do a couple of things. And one of the things I'm going to ask for is that the board give approval for the subcommittee, which consists of the chair, the vice chair, and the chair of the CAC, Jim, to the three of us to meet and either determine to reappoint the existing CAC members on their second term, or open up interviews for those positions. And instead of that would be my recommendation today versus voting to just actually do that today. Because I want to give Larry and Jim a chance to make comments on the existing CAC members that we may not, they're up for a second term that we may not know enough information about. Anyway, that's what I would like to do today, is for the board to give us permission to set that time in November and December to be able to do that and come back to the board in December with recommendations. You want to add to that, Rick?
That would be for the at-larges and at-large alternates. The CAC members from the member governments, from city, county, Manitou, et cetera. Those reappointments are made by the member governments.
By the member governments.
So the board just makes the appointments after receiving the recommendation from the board subcommittee for the at-larges and at-large alternates. So just looking for a motion, just to summarize what Chairman just said, looking for a motion and a second by the board to direct the subcommittee to meet in October and November and develop a plan for bringing back a recommendation to the board relative to the at-larges and at-large alternates.
So you're approving the process, not individuals today.
So
Yes.
moved.
That was a good way to say it, Holly. I'll second that.
Yeah. Okay. So we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this? Because it's a little detailed on what we're actually trying to do versus just approving everything.
Mr. Chair, although
Yes.
this doesn't necessarily affect the business at hand here, I will say that Ann Nichols, who's Manitou Springs representative, she's indicated that she does not wish to seek a second term.
Oh, she does not.
No.
Okay.
So we will try to find someone and get them appointed by
Perfect.
November 28th in conjunction with this other
Excellent.
effort going on in parallel. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, with that, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I hear and see none. With that, our motion for the process is approved. All right, moving right along then. Wow, we're up to 9D, staff field review report.
This is simply the results of my windshield drive
Aha.
around survey
Yeah.
of the completed maintenance and capital projects from quarter number 2 of this calendar year as submitted by the member governments. Information only, but I'll take any questions.
Anyone want to find out where he went and what he saw?
Do you ever end up with chips in your windshield? Okay.
Okay, with that said, we will move around the table. PPRTA member announcements. I'll start over here on my right with Commissioner Williams.
We're all doing well.
Okay.
Usually Commissioner Geithner says it's time for the big pumpkin dropout in Falcon, and that's always a lot of fun for the kids at Smith Farms. So other than that, I don't have anything else.
All right, thank you.
No
Councilmember
announcements.
Abla. All right, thank you. I'll move around to Mayor.
Just want to report that we had a busy summer, and the support we get from Mountain Metro is it helps us immensely in reducing congestion and getting people around, really doing mobility. In particular, we get folks move a tremendous number of people from our Hiawatha Gardens mobility hub and parking lot. We get them up to the Cog Row or the incline, and I think that's the busiest. It's certainly one of the busiest bus routes in the whole jurisdiction. So I want to thank Mountain Metro for the support that we get, and it's close coordination. They're very good to work with. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Gardine.
Yeah, this last summer, man, we've actually been able to take care of some infrastructure and servicing of Boulder Street in our little town. We used some of the funds meant from PPRTA to actually get that accomplished. Now we're going to continue, man, to like when Cindy come up presented, we're going to do that with the monies we're going to receive from the PPRTA that you guys just approved. You guys have actually been helping us, our little community, a lot. And I want to put out a special thank you to Cindy for coming down and presenting it. And that we appreciate it. And come on, let's go to work next year.
Thank you. Councilmember Donaldson.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Chair or President?
Chair today.
Chair over
Yes.
here. Okay. Chair. Just because this has to do with roads, I'll just point this out because it's interesting. It's just come up in the last few days, but the city of Colorado Springs is considering doing some changes to Cheyenne Boulevard, and it has to do with putting like bump outs at the intersections to kind of narrow the road a little bit and allow for bike lanes and stuff like that on the sides. But what you wouldn't necessarily consider is what impact that would have on fire evacuation out from there, because it shrinks the road down, the number of lanes. And so, it's one of those things where what initially might seem like a good idea, and maybe it is in certain parts of our city or certain areas, in other areas, maybe it isn't. And so it's not really a PPRTA issue, but it is roads and safety and just the things we're going to have to think about as we consider different proposals in the future. So I thought I'd bring that up.
Thank you. Yeah. Commissioner Gonzalez.
Yeah, nothing today. Thank you.
All right. I'll look around the room, start over with Lisa. Anything more? Rick, Gail, Josh. All right. Philip behind the podium. Online, look out online. Mayor Dixon.
No announcements.
All right. Paul.
No announcements.
All right. Jennifer. Anything?
Nope, nothing. Thank you.
I will say, I think I heard earlier today that were the bonds, and Jennifer can help me for Copper Ridge bonds were.
Yep. Sorry.
Something.
Yeah, I was asked for an update last month and I didn't have one. But I am aware that Copper Ridge was issuing their bonds and those were set to close today. So there should be an influx of funds there for them to move forward with the construction of that project, which is good news.
Up there at the north end with the Powers Interstate project, which is a good thing. Yes, Gail.
Mr. Chair, if I can add too, and we've been in close coordination with Copper Ridge Metro District for this project, and we will also have a website going live any minute for that project in support of that particular project.
Excellent.
And if there's any questions about it, please direct them. You can direct them to the city, but we are having Copper Ridge Metro District be the primary responder at this particular point.
Thank you very much. With that, I hear and see nothing else. We are adjourned.